Okay, hi, hello. Welcome to Prepped and Petty. I'm Mama Kay, and I'm recording this from a 1 acre farmstead on the coast of Mexico. Yes, Mexico. And yes, I know how that sounds. I sound like either someone who fully has their life together or someone who absolutely lost the plot. Depending on the day, it's honestly both. Here's what this show is about. It's real life preparedness. It's SHTF with a feminine twist. It's homesteading and food sovereignty and growing your own stuff and knowing what to do when the grocery store shelves go empty, which, by the way, they have. We have seen it. And yes, I do wear the tinfoil hat regularly, proudly, because a lot of the things that used to get you called crazy are now just called Tuesday. So, if you're a woman who's ever thought something feels off and I should probably be more prepared, but I have no idea where to start and I don't want to live in a bunker, babe, you are in the right place. This is episode 1. This is my origin story. And this is me standing in a Costco parking lot having a little meltdown. Okay, so here's a condensed version of how I got here because we could literally do a whole season, and maybe we will, but right now, the highlights. I was raised LDS, Mormon. And before anyone has a reaction to that, just stay with me, okay? Because the thing about growing up Mormon is that preparedness is literally baked into the doctrine. I mean, food storage is not a quirky hobby. It is like a commandment. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but you canned, you stored, you rotated, you planned for hard times. Like hard times were a real thing that happened to real people because they do and they are. So I had this foundation, this almost unconscious understanding that self-sufficiency mattered. And then life happened. A lot of life. I ended up in Mexico, met someone, had a baby. Well, we got married, had a baby, had my son, born right here in this beautiful country, and was just an infant when it happened. The moment. The one I still can't fully explain, but I'm going to try anyway. We'd just come back from his first round of Jabba Wabba, and I heard a voice. Not dramatic, not scary, calm, clear, like someone standing right beside me. I'm pretty sure it was my grandmother, my mom's mom. And she said one word. It was wait. That was it. Just wait. I didn't know what I was waiting for. I didn't know how long. I just knew in my whole body that I'd heard something real. So I held on to it. And I kept hearing that voice throughout the years. I returned to Canada with my then husband, my baby daddy, and that just one word kept telling me quietly for 3 years to wait. Whenever the subject of doctor's visits or updated Jabba I heard the voice clearly for 3 years. Not understanding exactly why, just carrying it. And then something shifted and I fell. I mean, not a stumble, a full Alice in Wonderland, arms out, no bottom in sight, fall down the rabbit hole. And I will tell you right now that that rabbit hole and Alice in Wonderland is actually a whole other conversation we're going to have on this podcast later because, wow, that's another episode. What I will say is I have not climbed back out. I live in the rabbit hole. I have decorated. Actually quite nice down here. But what changed, and this took time, is that I stopped being angry. Because when you first land down there, you are furious. You learn things. You connect dots. You realize how much of the story you were handed is just incomplete. And the anger is valid. It's not like I'm not here to tell you to skip it, but anger is also exhausting and it does not feed your family. So I moved through it and I landed in solutions. That's where I live now. In the solutions on this farmstead that I'm just growing now with my chickens and my ducks and my tinfoil hat and my dogs and 8 years of intentional single life that I'm designing and have chosen for myself to prepare for, a soulmate, a mate to come in. So my grandmother said, wait, and I waited and I found out exactly what I was supposed to find. Now, why women are the OG preppers? Can we just talk about something for a second? The prepping world. And I say this with love because it has a bit of a branding problem. When most people hear the word prepper, they think camo, bunker, MREs, a guy named Dale who's been waiting for the collapse since 1987 and is very smug about it. They don't think a woman standing in her kitchen preserving tomatoes, rotating her pantry, knowing exactly what her family needs for 90 days. and doing it while also running a business and keeping the household from falling apart. But that woman, she is the prepper. She always has been. Grandma wasn't weird for canning everything that didn't move. Grandma was brilliant. Great grandma wasn't excessive for having 6 months of food in the root cellar. She was practical, was just called being a good homemaker. Now, somewhere between convenience culture and Amazon Prime next day delivery, we outsourced everything we used to know how to do. And now, when I say maybe you should know how to preserve food, people look at me like I suggested we all move to caves. I live on a farmstead in Mexico with chickens and ducks and a garden that I'm starting, and I'm trying to get my sourdough starter started, and I'm preserving foods, and I grow, and I'm working on growing my food and rotating my pantry. I'm just starting this. And I'm also running a digital business, and I'm online, and I don't have time for a pedicure, although I should. And I'm not giving up a single thing. You don't have to choose between modern and prepared. That's a false choice, and I reject it entirely. The feminine twist in this show is what we talk about preparedness, the way women actually live. Practical, layered, beautiful, where we can make it beautiful and completely without shame. So why now and why Mexico? Why is this the moment? Why am I starting this podcast now in 20, what year is it? 2026. Because the window for getting ahead of things is shrinking. Not trying to be dramatic. This is just what I see happening. Food costs are literally through the roof globally. Small farms are struggling or disappearing. Seeds, actual seeds, the thing that makes food exist, are increasingly controlled by a handful of the elitist corporations. Governments around the world are having very interesting conversations about what you're allowed to grow in your backyard. I mean, come on, guys. It's like catching rain is illegal or drinking raw milk is illegal. Really? So I wear the tinfoil hat, remember? So I'm going to say it. Food sovereignty is a political issue now. What you grow, how you store it, how self-sufficient you are, these are not hobby conversations anymore. These are survival conversations. And that's exactly why I moved to where I'm at now and starting this little farmstead. I wanted land. I wanted growing seasons that actually cooperate and I'm not freezing my buns off. I wanted to have the ability to produce real food and not entirely dependent on a system that has made it very clear it can fail spectacularly at any moment. And I'm not scared. I want to be really clear about that. I'm not operating from fear. I'm operating from information and I'm operating from choice. There is a massive difference. Fear says hide. Preparation says build. I'm building. I'm done with the fear. I got over the fear and I want to help you build too. From my little piece of paradise on the coast of Mexico with my chickens and my ducks and my rescue dogs and my cats and my tinfoil hat firmly in place, I am here to give you real, practical, feminine, completely unhinged in the best way information to help you and your family, or not, be more prepared. And we're going to have a really good time doing it. Okay, so I never let an episode end without giving you something real to do. So here are your first 5 moves if you are brand new to this. These cost almost nothing. They will change how you feel immediately. Number 1, do a fridge and pantry audit, like today, like right after this episode. Or you know what? Listen to this episode while you start. Open every cabinet, look at what you actually have and write it down. Most people have no idea what they own, and that has to change. So 2, decide on your first stockpile staple. First thing, one thing. Pick one thing that your family actually uses. Pasta, rice, canned beans, whatever. And buy a little more than you need this week. That's it. That's the whole move. Now, number 3, this probably should be number 1, but find your water situation. Do you know where your water comes from? Do you have any stored? If the tap stopped working right now, what would you do? Even 2 or 3 gallons changes your position immediately. 4, think about your light source, flashlights, candles, something. Because when the power goes out, and it will, you want to know where your light is before you're stumbling around in the dark. 5, tell someone. Tell a friend about this podcast. Tell your sister. Tell your neighbor. The more people around you who are thinking about this stuff, the stronger the whole community gets. Preparedness isn't a solo sport. Prepared communities are more resilient than prepared individuals every single time. Why do you think people are like building homesteading compounds, which I'd love to do one day? But anyway, so 5 moves, and you can start all 5 this week. And if you want the full breakdown for 30-day starter roadmap, the pantry list, all of it, my survival starter vault walks you through everything step by step, and the link is in the show notes. So, all right, that is episode 1 of Prepped and Petty. And if you listen to the whole thing, thank you. I mean that genuinely. So the next episode, we're talking about the zombie apocalypse and food. And I'm going to leave that for you to think about so you can listen to the next episode. And remember, if this episode hit different for you, share it, write a review, tell your people. Other women and men are looking for this conversation right now, and they just haven't found it yet. So you can be the one who sends it to them. I'm Mama Kay. I'm building my farmstead. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat, and I'm also glad you're here. So stay ready, stay petty, start winning, and I'll see you in the next episode.